Kevin Costner's estranged wife Christine Baumgartner has already received more than $400,000 to pay the costs of her legal battle with the actor, NAD News can reveal. The mother of three is presently engaged in a legal battle with her ex over a new judgment of $855,000 to cover costs for the former couple's future trial about the continued enforceability of the prenuptial agreement they signed 18 years ago. Baumgartner, 49, has sought for $1.26 million in total, which would be paid out in $575,000 to her attorneys John Rydell and Susan Wiesner and another $280,000 to her forensic accountant Jill Bombino. However, according to records obtained by NAD News, Baumgartner has already been paid $405,000 in legal, attorney, and forensic accounting expenses. These payments were made in July of this year. The Yellowstone actor's lawyer, Laura Wasser, attacked the whopping demand in a scathing court filing on Tuesday in Santa Barbara, California, calling the costs inflated and claiming that forcing the actor to pay would be unconscionable. The Disso Queen, aside from calling Baumgartner unreasonable, Wasser claimed that her ongoing legal gambits, the bulk of which have failed, have driven up costs for all sides. Christine is back asking for another fee award, Wasser writes in the petition. After receiving $405,000 in fees, including an award of $300,000 in legal fees on July 12, $200,000 in attorney's fees and $100,000 in forensic accounting fees, and removing $105,000 for fees from Kevin's accounts. This time, she asks for an enormous sum of $885,000, $575,000 in legal expenses and $280,000 in expert costs, only to get ready for the bifurcated trial in November and December, which will focus on the question of whether the spousal support waiver in the parties' premarital agreement, the PMA, is currently unconscionable. When the numbers are so big, it is simple to lose sight of their true significance. The latest dispute began less than 2 weeks after Baumgartner had her child support payments reduced from $129,000 per month to $63,000 at the conclusion of a 2-day evidentiary hearing. According to the new declaration, she had been asking for payments of $161,000 per month and had rejected Costner's offer of $75,000 per month made on June 30 in favor of a considerably bigger sum. The fees associated with the prenuptial agreement hearing, which will start on November 27 and extend for 6 days, are being requested by Baumgartner. In order to get alimony, the 49-year-old wants to have her prenuptial agreement overturned. Currently, she is entitled to a lump amount of $1.5 million and a year's worth of mortgage payments on a new home. Wasser claims that Rydell, Wiesner, and Bombino's estimates for the expense of trial preparation are inflated and duplicate work completed for the child support hearing. According to Wasser's calculations, which are part of the complaint, Baumgartner will be paying her attorneys at the exorbitant rate of $800 per hour. She continued, Christine is very capable of contributing towards her own attorney's bills, even if Kevin is the wealthier party with larger cash flow than Christine. Furthermore, Kevin's wealth and cash flow does not provide Christine and her lawyers with carte blanche to take unreasonable positions, fail to make any real effort to resolve disputed issues, and then litigate those unreasonable positions, the statement continued. Additionally, she charged Baumgartner with failing to make a meaningful effort to settle disagreements before resorting to forced arbitration. Wasser also bristled at Baumgartner accusing her ex of using highly litigious tactics, noting that the pair had been due to take part in a settlement conference, only for the glamorous blonde to insist on an evidentiary hearing that took place before the scheduled meeting. She fumed, Christine fails to inform the court that her settlement position through the months of June, July, and August was so unrealistic and frankly outrageous. Kevin had no hope she would be more settlement-oriented at the VSC, Voluntary Settlement Conference. Last week, Baumgartner found herself on the hook for a payment of $14,000 after Judge Thomas Andrell decided to sanction her for failing to give proper answers to questions from Costner's legal team. The setback came shortly after Judge Andrell halved Baumgartner's monthly child support payments, a decision she later described as a joke according to a pal. The friend told DailyMail.com, Christine is shocked. She said even Kevin looked shocked. Everyone looked shocked. To say Christine is disappointed is an understatement. She described the ruling as a complete joke. Speaking to NAD News, Brett Ward, a partner at New York legal firm Blank Rome and an expert in family law, said a party requesting fees isn't unusual, although the potential size of the award is. He added that courts often dislike requests that they perceive to be excessive and that they generally wish to avoid cases getting protracted like the divorce of Kevin Costner. There is unquestionably a legal foundation for Baumgartner's request, he stated. However, the judge will assess whether the suggested fees are acceptable. In general, judges do not intend to promote more litigation by giving one side access to a war chest of future legal costs. Courts generally balance the less wealthy party's right to carry on the litigation in a fair manner against the concern that a party with a significant fee award will take that money and use it to make every possible argument available, no matter the merit or lack thereof for each claim. Ward said the enormous legal bills the pair are racking up are unusual in family court, but added that much of the money can be explained by the value of the assets being wrangled over and expects the eventual tab to be much higher. He said, "At this pace, and without a settlement in the near future, I would not be surprised if the combined legal fees approach or exceed $5 million. Much of Baumgartner's testimony during the evidentiary hearing had hinged on her being able to provide a lavish lifestyle for her 3 children comparable to that they enjoy while with their father. She also lamented the lack of beach access for her children and the fact that guests staying in the pool house would have to use the bathroom in the main home. Costner claimed during his testimony that the mansion was identical to his own opulent Carpinteria residence and even had things he would want in his own home. Her concerns, according to the mother of 3's pal, also include being removed from the neighborhood she had gotten to know while living with Costner. The friend added, Christine said Costner and his legal team, painted the picture of this shallow, greedy gold digger and that if Kevin could get past his anger and revenge, he would see how this is hurting their kids. She said Kevin is ripping her apart from her community by making it impossible to live in the tight-knit neighborhood. Christine said this was never about beach views and Kevin knows this. He knows how much the community means to Christine, and that this is his way of punishing her. Christine said the fight is far from over. The court also heard details of the family's lavish spending, which totaled $240,000 a month in 2022. Expenses included $40,000 spent each month on flowers and gifts alone, although Costner's forensic accountant Tracy Katz pointed out the figure is for the entire family, including Baumgartner. Katz said the 49-year-old was responsible for a host of big-ticket items, including $18,000 a month on medical bills, $18,855 on clothing and $3,377 on beauty treatments. On top of that, Baumgartner was responsible for the lion's share of the $8,886 in cash taken out at ATM machines, according to Katz.